Hello and welcome back to In Defense of a Movie Podcast. It's time for some jury duty.
Jury duty. Woo, woo, woo.
My name's Dan. Joining me as always is Aaron. How you doing, Aaron?
Hey, guys. I'm not too bad. How are you?
Good. I am enjoying a very warm December here in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. And I am the complete opposite. Very snowy.
I hope you guys enjoyed our Deck the Halls episode. We had a lot of fun doing it. And we got another Christmas episode coming out after this. That's going to drop right on Christmas Day. And then we're probably going to take a couple weeks off and enjoy the holiday season. And then we'll be right back at it in January.
A little Christmas present from us to you on Christmas Day. So I hope you guys are excited because we know that's what you're going to be waiting for. That's the present everyone wants.
Exactly. If all you get is a lump of coal, at least you'll have a podcast episode to listen to. Aaron, should we announce what movie that is?
Yeah.
We will be defending
The Cranks. Christmas with the Cranks. Get cranked.
Christmas
crank my
with the crank.
Crippled cranks. No, Christmas with the Cranks. That's what we will be reviewing. Exciting.
Sitting at 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is weird because obviously this is a huge Christmas staple. It really doesn't per se need defending because everybody watches it. It's always on TV. It's probably on TV right now as we speak. But I am a little fascinated by the fact that it's rated so lowly. So I'm definitely excited to tackle this. And this will be our main Christmas episode this year, which is exciting.
I'll be sure to practice my voices, just for, even though that's a completely different show. But, Tim Allen.
I don't think you have to practice. That was perfect.
Hey, thanks.
So, Aaron, how are you feeling about Christmas this year?
Oh, you know what, Dan? It's interesting that you bring that up because Christmas is such a struggle for me. And I don't know if anyone else out there kind of feels the same. But, I tend to get into this mindset of just the consumerism that Christmas brings. And that, I don't know, I kind of get into the mindset that this is more about buying gifts and spending money and stuff, and it's less about being with your family. And so I tend to get like a little bit down about that. Also, not a huge New Year's guy, so this time of year I tend to get a little dark-sided. But it's just, I don't know, why do we always feel the need to ring in the New Year's with a bang, For myself, I just feel like I would honestly rather go to bed at 10 and get like a full 8 hours of sleep and wake up on January 1st feeling like not tired and refreshed. So what's kind of happening in my life now is, because I'm not a big Christmas person, is just finding that like all my other relationships suffer a little bit. They suffer with my family because, I'm less inclined to do Christmas stuff with them. They suffer with my friendships because, again, don't want to celebrate or really do anything. Even just recording Christmas episodes for this podcast have become extremely difficult just because I'm like, would rather watch anything else other than a Christmas movie.
I think that last one's more my fault.
Well, I did love Deck the Halls, and I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying not to be a Grinch or a Scrooge McDuck here. And so Dan, I thought any advice you could offer me to get me out of my Christmas blues?
Well, I have a long, complicated history with Christmas because I grew up in a household that didn't celebrate it. I didn't keep my first quote-unquote Christmas till I was in my 20s.
Okay.
And part of me finds peace and liberation in it. Like, I'm my own person now. I can make my own decisions. And there's no real rule book on how you want to decorate, if you want to decorate, what you want to do, like how you want to spend it. Everyone's got their own little traditions and their own little things. And now that I have a 4-year-old, just as I was getting used to learning how to do Christmas, now it's not really about me. It's more so about making it a special day for her.
Yeah,
I don't know. I love the lights. I love the food.
The lights are pretty
treats.
sweet. sweet aspect of Christmas. I will admit to that.
Yeah, and I like Christmas music for the first 48 hours or so before.
Yeah.
One big dose at the beginning and I'm done.
No, that makes sense, Dan. I think that you know what, it's you said it. There are no rules is basically what I took from this, and so as long as you're spending time with the ones you love, which I am, and so I think that's really what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, I think the best part about Christmas is trying to make it special for the people around you. And then by doing that, it kind of like you find fulfillment.
Yeah, it kind of becomes a reward in itself.
Yeah, and I think that's the key to it.
We skip Christmas. We'll go bask in the Caribbean sun.
We skip Christmas? What's up? No Christmas Eve party?
Run away from Christmas, huh?
A lot of the neighbors are pretty upset.
Aaron?
Yes.
Are there any movies in your life that are lifting your spirits recently?
I mean, there are some that I am very excited to see. The new animated Lord of the Rings movie comes out tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
Also, Kraven the Hunter, the Sony MCU movie, that is going to be coming out. So I think one of my buddies is already getting tickets for Tuesday next week. So
I'm laughing because the review embargo just lifted today.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Was it terrible? I haven't looked at anything, but I'm just assuming, you know what? At this point, we did Madam Web. I saw Morbius, saw the latest Venom movie. So it just makes sense that I go out and see this Kraven movie.
So last time I checked, which is 2 hours ago, it's currently at 9%.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Pour one out for Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, well, pour one out for the Sony MCU universe. Wait, I just did a Michael Scott, ASAP as possible.
I think it's quite nice that we started off this season in our comeback with Madam Web.
Yeah.
And now the final nail in the coffin is just right after.
Yeah.
We're not plugged in, obviously, to any of this Hollywood stuff, but I feel like we have a subtle sixth sense as to what's going on.
Yeah.
Our batting average is pretty high on this stuff. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But what do you think that they are gonna do now? Because what other Sony movies have they been making other than comic book movies? I couldn't even tell you the last one.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to be focused still on Spider-Man 4. Like, they still have their hands in the Tom Holland Spider-Man verse,
okay.
So.
Yeah.
But I think they're just done with the villain spin-offs.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I think that might have something to do with Secret Wars coming up. I'm pretty sure that Marvel's laid down the gauntlet and said, look, you got to stop using characters that we want to use. What kind of deal can we strike that you'll, knock off this stupid villain shenanigans universe?
Yeah.
Because they want to use them, and they want to use them for future Spider-Man films and for future MCU installments. It's really murky.
At this point, Sony should just sell whatever intellectual property they have back to Marvel.
But Spider-Man makes so much money. It's just too lucrative, It's too lucrative. But did you hear the news that Chris Evans is coming back for the next Avengers movie?
Oh, no, I didn't know that. And that makes me a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Sad and I don't know, maybe a little bit happy as well. I can't tell. I don't know what it is.
I think it's so strange that both Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans were in the last Avengers movie, and they're both returning for the next Avengers movie. Like, the MCU couldn't even last one Avengers movie without them, without getting this desperate.
Do you know if he is a variant or if he is actually going to be his character? I assume he would have to be a variant, because unless he's going to come back as old Steve Rogers, right?
Old Steve Rogers would be a neat thing to do, but he was like really old. He looked like Joe Biden at the end.
I was going to say he was like Joe Biden old, like not the old that you want in your movies.
Yeah, not like Logan old. We're talking like ancient old. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. It's hard to say at this point.
I also saw that Wesley Snipes will be making some cameos as Blade, so I thought that was interesting. So basically, the new Blade movie that they were in talks for making seems like it's completely squashed now.
I don't think that movie was ever going to happen at this point.
It's a little sad. because Blade was definitely one of my favorite, I guess, movies, franchise, whatever you would want to call it, growing up. Did love them. But it is also still cool to see Wesley Snipes in making a comeback here.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of a comeback, total segue, Interstellar is back in theaters celebrating its 10-year anniversary, doing an IMAX re-release. And it has been sold out down here at like every single showing, even the 10 o'clock showings. And I finally managed to scoop a ticket for next Wednesday at the time of recording this. So I'm really excited to go see that. This will be the second time I've seen it in IMAX. But of course, it was 10 years ago that I saw it the first go around. So I am more than just a little bit excited to experience this again.
Interstellar is one of those movies where every time I watch it, I notice something new. And not only that, but I feel like every time I watch it, I've learned more.
Yeah.
Just about like the way that the universe works, or, you know, just things about space, things about the movie. And then I watch that movie again, and because I've learned those things, like, it makes even more sense to me. So I just feel like every time I watch it, my mind is a little bit blown. It's such a beautiful movie.
Yeah, I think it's honestly possibly my favorite movie of all time. I think it's right up there. Like, easily top 10. Definitely way, way up there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, Dan, how about you? Have you been watching or excited for anything here in the near future?
Yeah, so I took my kiddo to see Moana 2 the other day.
Little sis! Fix it! You were gone forever.
It was 3 days.
Where are we going?
Before Maui stole Te Fiti's heart, our ancestors wanted to connect our island to all the people of the entire ocean. It's my job as a wayfinder to finish what they started.
Moana, show our people just how far we'll go.
I went in with obviously zero expectations. It was, kind of just to keep her busy, have some fun.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I've not sat through the entire first movie. I've seen bits and pieces of it in passing because it's on at the house here a bit, but I've never been able to get through it. I don't know if it's Maui or what it is, but I find it to be the most annoying movie. And anyway, so I went into the second one, not too excited, and I gotta be honest, I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
It was an interesting movie because I was well aware that it was supposed to be a Disney Plus show, but then they decided to retool it for a theatrical movie. And that's really, really apparent when you watch it. After watching so many Disney Plus shows, you can actually tell exactly where they would have cut it for an episode, which is really distracting. And they definitely do. They introduce some new characters that aren't going to get resolved. It's like sequel bait for whatever show or whatever other movie. So you're like, it felt cheap in a weird way, and the stakes didn't feel that high, but the facial animation was some of the best I've ever seen, especially when they were singing. The animation alone is just unbelievable. It's obviously a very striking visual movie, and it held a 4-year-old's attention for the entirety of it. So that's high praise, Yeah. It's made like $500 million already. So it's doing just fine, but it's very interesting to me because it definitely feels like it should have stayed on Disney Plus, but they were definitely smart. Like, I don't know what's going on over there at Disney. Moana is, what was it, like the highest watched streamed show of this entire year, this entire last year. And they were just going to make a Disney Plus show and dump it, the fact that this even started as a streaming show is just so confusing to me. And, it was a different director, different songwriter. Like, the songs in this movie, besides the main track Beyond, the songs are completely forgettable. The plot is so thin. It's basically just...
Is Maui in this one?
He is, and he's actually a lot more likable. They somehow made Maui more likable.
Still voiced by The Rock?
Yeah, still voiced by The Rock.
Okay.
And I found him a lot more tolerable. And so as an adult, it's an easy movie to get through, but the stakes feel so low in a weird way. Like, it just doesn't feel like a big cinematic event. It just kind of feels like cool.
Probably The Rock was like, The Rock doesn't do TV shows. The Rock only does movies. And they were like, okay, we'll switch it to a movie. It won't be a series anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I like to imagine happen.
Moana is so lucrative, which it surprises me so much because I can't even get through the first one, but it is so lucrative. People really love this series. And right now they're filming a live action version.
Yes.
And after watching this second one, God knows what else they have planned. They've introduced a lot of new elements in this movie that could go any which way. So, knowing Disney, prepare yourselves for Moana 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to end anytime soon.
Oh, geez, yeah. They're like, this is, it's that meme of that guy standing behind the tree, just like rubbing his hands together.
Rubbing his hands.
That's Disney right now, just looking at Moana.
If they can put something in theaters that is this thin on plot, and it makes $500 million.
Yeah.
For all the misses they've had lately.
Well, I think what ends up happening is that it's just a lot of kids that go and see the movie, right? Kids, and not only that, but you got your parents taking their kids out to seeing these movies, and the kids are not going to notice all these, the way that it's cut together. They're not going to do that. As long as it's bright, colorful, has fun songs, and, a bit of comedy in there, they're going to love it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this ticks all those boxes. Kids loved it.
It's probably a calculated move by Disney, if anything, right? That they were like, let's release this in the theaters, and the fact that it's doing so well, you can for sure bet that they're going to milk it a bit more.
I just don't know why they ever considered just making it a Disney Plus series. This is so odd to say about like a multi-million-dollar company, but I don't think that they value their properties, their intellectual properties accurately.
No.
Like they're too careless with them. It's really strange. They have these giant IPs and they will just do all the weird stuff with them. I don't know. There's this weird mismanagement happening with just about every one of their IPs. And it drives me crazy. Because I think part of what gives an intellectual property its value is scarcity.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with Disney. If you like to show, if anything's a hit, if anything's remotely successful, it gets crammed down our throats in every permutation.
Yeah, and you know what I would say to that, though, is we're kind of also to blame for some of that. Because every time they release something, we go out, we watch it, and we talk about it. And so as long as we keep doing that, they're going to keep pumping out whatever, because at the end of the day, they're not looking at making a super solid show with, that's like well written and well thought out. They're more looking to see fast dollars is what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And which they are.
I'll give you an example of a weird one because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Years ago, maybe 3 years ago, Disney announced a Tiana show coming to Disney Plus. Now, I can't remember when Princess and the Frog came out off the top of my head, but it was a long time ago. And they just reskinned Splash Mountain on both coasts to be a Tiana Bayou Adventure ride.
Oh, okay.
So they went from Tiana being like a flatlined, basically one-and-done movie that no one went and saw, by the way. It was a huge box office flop. And then suddenly they're like, we're going to make a ride out of it. And then there's going to be a Disney Plus show. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you just make a big tentpole movie and put it in the theaters to launch alongside your ride? Like, I don't...
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Why, and don't be surprised if this ends up going the same direction as Moana 2, where they're like, oh, you know what? We should really make this a movie instead. Because, like, guess what? People are actually going to leave their house. Like, parents with kids want to distract their kid for a few hours. And, like, it's like, they're just so weird about the way they're managing all these IPs. I just don't get it.
Well, I mean, and our listeners here are no stranger to hearing us rage about Disney, but Disney, if you're listening, you should let us help you out.
It's not so much that I'm raging at Disney. I'm just... I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
You can't increase the perceived value of Disney Plus and the perceived value of your intellectual properties at the same time. I just don't think you can. It's either one or the other. Is this
Yeah.
a Disney Plus exclusive, or is this a cinematic event? It can't be both. And I just, Netflix figured that out ages ago. They don't touch the theaters, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why Disney's waffling on this so much. They've always been a cinematic experience. Always, always.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. One thing I do want to say about Disney is I think that Disney is, because they're like the number one corporation, right? They own Star Wars, they own Marvel, they have their own like intellectual property.
Yeah.
They're just this big corporation, churning out all these intellectual properties and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're the biggest. We all kind of, they got the biggest target painted on their backs.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the thing is like they are one of the biggest studios out there pumping out so many shows. So of course we're going to be critical of them the most.
Yeah.
Also, because they have such deep pockets and they can afford to just basically put out whatever they want, and it doesn't really matter whether they make money or they don't make money, right? Because they got so much of it, and it doesn't just stop at shows, right? Because they got it from their attractions, merchandising, like so many different things.
Totally.
Yeah.
It boggles the mind. I low-key wish that I could be an advisor, just someone that they could call. It would never happen, but I would I would love to just give some input about some of this stuff, man.
And that's the thing is there's other people out there who are, who probably have told them like, hey, this is probably a much better idea. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I just don't think that they are keen to listen to anyone. They're just going to do it their own way. And whether it works out or not, it's up to them to figure it out. They won't listen to anyone. They got to hit rock bottom first before they make a change.
Well, Aaron, is there any other movies that you want to touch on?
Not movies, but a show I would love to touch on. There's kind of two shows that I watched. The first one, The Magnus on Netflix.
You think I'm making this up?
We're not going to end up arresting you for this, are we?
I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm black, I'm on TV. I was there. I'm walking around with a bullseye on my back.
They are gonna pin all this shit on you. But doesn't it feel like it's murder of a notorious white man. The man was the Jesse Jackson of white supremacy. I think we're not prepared.
Did you do something to him?
This ain't no fight or flight. It's just flight. Do you see what they're doing to me?
Stars Coleman Domingo. Now, it was a pretty cool story. What I'm kind of finding about these kind of like mystery type shows is that they have a really killer opening and first like 3 or 4 episodes, and then it just completely peters off. But this show, The Madness, it was definitely worth a watch if you're just looking for, I believe there was only 6 or 8 episodes, about 45 minutes long. So not a huge series, but definitely worth a watch. Also, Coleman Domingo just has the coolest voice ever. He is in Euphoria, and he's kind of the accountability partner for like the Alcoholics Anonymous.
No, okay.
They're not called accountability partners. They're called something else, but I can't remember it at this moment. But anyways, he's in that show as well. And I don't know, he's just got the coolest voice, the coolest way of talking. And whenever you hear him do a monologue, he is it's almost like Morgan Freeman doing a monologue. You know how he has that classic voice? I swear that this guy could be like the next big monologue reader in Hollywood. But
damn.
And the other show I wanted to talk to you about is called Cross.
What do you do, Alex?
I'm a detective.
You mean you're a cop?
Metro PD. We joined the force together. No, I got it!
You the doctor?
PhD, psychology.
Let's see how long you last.
But you can call me Detective Alex Cross.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's a Prime show, and it's about Alex Cross. So I believe it's based off of a book, but it was definitely a awesome kind of crime show. He is a detective solving murders, and also there's kind of two things going on during the show. He's solving a murder, but also his wife was murdered, and so he's like kind of like working on the case for his wife as well. So you're getting kind of two mysteries that go on throughout the show, and it's actually a pretty original story, I found. The villain was a little stereotypical, but like what they kind of did in the end, it felt pretty original, and so that's why I would recommend it to you guys, because it was a pretty good show. Also, as a bonus, there was a nip slip I spotted. I'm not going to tell you where or when, but I was very excited, and it is in there, and you guys should watch it for the nip slip alone.
You got me thinking in memes now. I was thinking of Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen.
Pretty much. Yeah. There is nothing better than a nip slip. I don't know if there is. I have tell me if there is.
So, because this is probably our last jury duty before the new year, to be honest, because the week after this releases will be Christmas with the Cranks, I was inspired by your classic pick, Aaron, of The Quest. So, I wanted to hit you guys with a pick. I actually thought it was kind of cool for us to select movies that are maybe a bit older that people might have underappreciated or not seen. So, I got one to throw at you guys, and consider this an early Christmas present. If you haven't seen this movie, boy, have I got news for you. So, Aaron.
Yes.
What if I told you that there was a movie that starred Charlie Cox, Henry Cavill, Claire Danes, Robert De Niro, Mark Strong, Ricky Gervais, Michelle Pfeiffer, Ben Barnes, Kate McGowan, and Sienna Miller?
Oh, wow.
And what if I told you that movie was directed by Matthew Vaughn?
Okay. I'd say boing.
I am talking about a movie from 2007 called Stardust.
Oh, Tristan, a shooting star.
I'd cross the wall and I'd bring you back that fallen star.
You can't cross the wall. Nobody crosses the wall.
Excuse me, have you seen a fallen star anywhere? We're in a crater. This must be where it fell.
Yeah, this is where I fell.
You're the star. You're the star? Really? Oh, wow. Everyone's talking about a fallen star.
When I find out, the glory of our youth shall be restored.
This is the part where you tell me who you are and why you're up here.
We're just trying to make our way home.
Touche.
You better be telling the truth, you two-faced dog.
I can get you one of them, actually. Very good guard dogs. They can watch the back and the front door at the same time.
Enough.
Okay. This is the one with in the stars and the dust, right?
Yeah. So I believe that this movie belongs in the same conversation as Princess Bride.
Okay.
It is a bona fide classic that not enough people have seen. My parents watched this movie a lot. They loved it. I showed my wife Bree the movie a few weeks back because she'd never even heard of it. She loved it. And I'm telling you, this is a modern, 2007 fantasy adventure film. And the cast is insane. A lot of them were, before they got super big and famous, like, Charlie Cox and Henry Cavill, people like that. Charlie Cox plays this guy named Tristan, who is trying to win the hand of this girl who's like, kind of way above, is punching above his weight class, right? And he promises her that he'll bring her a fallen star that has come down to Earth. And that's kind of where the quest starts. But when he gets to the fallen star, he realizes that it's actually Claire Danes. This fallen star is actually like a humanoid person. So he's kind of a jerk to her at first, saying basically like, no, I have to take you back because you're proof that I took, he wants to take her back to the lady he's trying to marry, right? But they're pursued by witches and lightning pirates and all sorts of insane things. There's all these different parties trying to follow them. Michelle Pfeiffer is incredible in it. Robert De Niro is absolutely hilarious. Just the fact that there's pirates trying to like harvest lightning and like all this cool stuff. It is just a bona fide cinematic masterpiece, and it's innocent and hilarious and charming. And if you haven't seen this movie, or if you've never heard of it, I invite you to give it the old college try this Christmas break because you might be pleasantly surprised.
I have actually seen this movie.
You have?
Yes. There's like some kind of weird air blimp ship in it, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it, but I have seen it, and it is a good movie.
It's one of those movies that when you start it out, you're a little unsure of it because the tone is just so different than a lot of films around this same time that came out. Mm-hmm. But put on your like Princess Bride fairy tale goggles and give it some time, and I'm telling you, it just gets better and better and better, and it is so enjoyable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Dan.
Next up, again, Christmas Day, we will be dropping Christmas with the Cranks.
Yes.
So if you're having a hard time at your parents' place and you just want to disappear into the bathroom and take a really long dump, pop on our podcast, close the door.
Yeah, we can keep you occupied for 1 hour. Well, more than 1 hour if you listen to more than one episode.
Go hide in the bathroom, turn on the ceiling fan. Listen to her episode.
Start you know what? Just if you got a wood burning fireplace in your house, throw a couple logs in there.
Yeah.
Make yourself some hot cocoa.
Yeah.
Turn your Bluetooth speaker on. Play our Christmas episode.
Smoke a pipe.
Yeah, smoke a pipe.
Stare off into the mid distance and think about
question who you are.
Tim Allen.
And what are we and where did we come from?
And why are drones flying over New Jersey? All these things.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. We will see you on the next episode of In Defense of a Movie Podcast.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year's, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.